Have you ever imagined keeping every single dollar you earn? These countries make it possible, legally. But first of all, you might be asking, why decide to talk about the 5 best countries with zero income tax, instead of talking about all 15 countries that have no income taxes? The answer is simple, because I respect your time. Why would I waste your time telling you that countries like Somalia or North Korea have no income tax? Would you move there just to not pay taxes? And risk becoming a hostage of a pirate, or worse, a hostage of this dictator who really likes lubricant? Yeah, I don't think so. Instead, I selected 5 countries that offer decent standards of life and no income tax at all. Zero. The first country is actually a place where I lived for years, and is one of the richest in the world: Qatar. When I first moved there, I realized that zero income tax is just one of the many intriguing characteristics of this country. And yes, I will talk about the matter of Islamic law and apparent lack of freedom in a few minutes, because those are important considerations. But first, allow me to explain the other side of this small country, a side that I discovered living there. Located in the Arabian Peninsula, Qatar is known for its abundant oil and natural gas reserves, and it's one of the wealthiest nations on Earth by GDP per capita. Qatar's economy relies on hydrocarbons, oil and gas, and revenues from these resources let the government fund modern infrastructure. Despite having zero income tax, the roads are well maintained, the public services are very decent, and they built an impressive subway network in record time. So now people can travel around Doha in comfortable, fast, and air-conditioned underground wagons. Public healthcare is well taken care of. They have one of the biggest and best public hospitals in the entire Middle East, the Hamad Medical Corporation. Another impressive thing about Qatar is that you don't need to speak Arabic to live there. I don't speak it, and I live it there just fine. More than 85% of the country's population are foreigners, and English is common everywhere. Qatar's government welcomes expats for skilled jobs, and most expats work on a contract or sponsorship basis, not paying any income tax. Now, the thing that probably you are expecting me to talk about. Qatar is an Islamic country and one of the most conservative in the GCC. There is some cultural shock when you live there. I was warned once because I was drinking water in public during Ramadan, and during Ramadan, you are not supposed to drink water in public. But what if I told you that there is a neighbor from Qatar that offers similar advantages but with a much smaller cultural shock? A country where you can live in a much more relaxed manner. The United Arab Emirates, UAE. This is the place where we, expats in Qatar, usually went to have fun. And that says a lot about the differences between Qatar and the UAE. It's also another country with zero income tax. So let's see what makes it so appealing. Because much like Qatar, the UAE built its economy on hydrocarbons. However, it has diversified, and now finance, tourism, and real estate help drive growth. Dubai is a top financial hub in the Middle East. The Emirates leverage free trade zones that draw foreign companies and investors, and this policy fosters healthy business competition and a thriving economy. Yes, it's not a cheap place to live, and the cost of living can be high in cities like Dubai or Abu Dhabi. Housing, especially in prime areas, carries a premium. However, the Emirates is much more than Dubai or Abu Dhabi. And not long ago I made a video about Ras Al Khaimah, a city that offers the same tax advantages as Dubai or Abu Dhabi, but with a much lower cost of living. And then there is the upside of zero income tax. Many expats decided to move to the UAE because they weigh the costs and see that they can still save money compared to high-tax countries. And honestly, if you live in a large city in Canada, the US, or England, there is a big chance that Dubai is actually cheaper than your city. Dubai is cheaper than Vancouver in Canada, and it's cheaper than Portland in Oregon, with the added benefit of not having entire districts taken over by fentanyl junkies like Vancouver. Entertainment is something that will be well served in the UAE. Theme parks, global restaurants, and year-round sunshine will not let you be bored. And if you are, just hop on a flight and you can travel anywhere in the world using their 5-star airlines. Just like Qatar, the UAE boasts very, very, very low crime rates. The government enforces strict laws, and the police presence is visible. This gives many expats a strong sense of security, and it's also a key reason families choose to settle there. The UAE offers investor visas, employment visas, and other permits that allow people to live in the country long-term, tax-free. And by the way, if you want me to make another video with more details about the UAE or Qatar or any of the countries I will mention today, let me know in the comment section. The next country is also quite close, and it's the last Middle Eastern country we'll talk about today. Syria. No, I'm just kidding. It's Bahrain. This is another Gulf country where individuals do not pay income tax. It shares many cultural similarities with Qatar and the UAE. Yet, it has its own personality and advantages. The main issue people have with Bahrain is that it's very small, so at some point it's easy to get bored. And that's why expats who want a smaller, more laid-back alternative to Dubai sometimes pick Bahrain. Bahrain positions itself as a financial hub. It's home to numerous banks and financial institutions, and offshore banking plays a big role in its economy. Oil and gas are still part of the equation, but Bahrain has made strides to diversify. Its business-friendly environment includes policies aimed at foreign investors. Housing costs in Bahrain are generally lower than in the UAE and Qatar. The capital, Manama, has modern apartment buildings, malls, and a waterfront promenade. And like others in the Gulf, it has a hot climate, but the indoor facilities are well air-conditioned. And here allow me to a quick digression. Many people fear the excruciating temperatures in this part of the world, but during my years living there, I rarely noticed them because nearly everywhere, from shops to public offices to stadiums, is air-conditioned. Despite its small size, Bahrain is known for some big events like the Formula One race and a lively restaurant scene. This is what a local resident told us about living in Bahrain. Open quote, "The country has very friendly people and a big expat community as well. The food is good and there are plenty of options. Weather is a double-edged sword. Very hot in the summer, but very pleasant in the winter. The country is incredibly safe as well, and the most dangerous thing here are the stupid drivers." End quote. Investors can apply for a self-sponsored investor visa, and one impressive thing about this island is that Bahrain has a liberalized economy with 100% foreign ownership allowed in most sectors, something impossible in Qatar, for example. Once you have legal residency, you can benefit from zero personal income tax. Now, from the Middle East, we go to Europe, the continent where the next country in our list is located. But before that, I would like to ask a small favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. So, the next is Monaco. Monaco isn't just another European destination. It's an entirely different world. And here's some things you probably never heard about then. Their history is deeply tied to the Grimaldi family, who have ruled since the 13th century. Over the centuries, they created a stable, secure haven that gradually became a magnet for the world's wealthy. And while the Monte Carlo Casino is one of Monaco's most famous landmarks, there is an intriguing twist. The citizens of Monaco aren't allowed to gamble there, only visitors. Monaco is located in the stunning French Riviera, and the entire principality covers just over 2 square kilometers. To put that into perspective, it's about half the size of Central Park in New York. So yes, Monaco is small, but still, 9 of the 12 best tennis players in the world live there, as well as 9 of 20 Formula One pilots live in Monaco. And you know why? Let's get straight to the point. Because Monaco does not impose personal income tax. While most European countries impose hefty income taxes, often upwards to 40 or 50%, Monaco has remained a tax-free haven since 1869. This is the number one reason why the wealthy relocate there. But it's not just about income tax. Monaco also has no capital gain tax or wealth tax, making it incredibly attractive for those with significant assets. Whether your income comes from investments, business profits, or high salaries, it stays entirely yours. While anyone can visit Monaco, not just anyone can become a resident. That typically requires proof of financial stability. Generally, you need to deposit a significant sum, often €500,000, into a Monegasque bank. Property ownership or rental, you must either buy or rent property in Monaco, and rental prices can be extremely high, and a minimum stay requirement, while not as strict as some other countries. You do need to spend a fair amount of time in Monaco to maintain residency. Once you are officially a resident, you are free to enjoy all of Monaco's perks, including its tax-free status. But wait, there is also another trade-off. Monaco is one of the most expensive places to live in the world. Real estate prices are astronomical, with properties often costing upwards of 50,000 euros per square meter. Rental costs are equally high, and daily expenses match the overall level of luxury. However, depending on how much you save on taxes, these extra costs might be more than justified. Let's take, for example, the top tennis player in the world, Yannick Sinner, who is Italian but lives in Monaco. In 2024, he made only on tournament prizes, not counting sponsorship deals, $19.7 million. If he lived in his native Italy, he would have paid 8.5 million euros or $8.8 million in taxes. But in Monaco, he paid zero. But while Monaco attracts tennis players and Formula One pilots looking to pay less taxes, there is another country that attracts singers and musicians. And by the way, if you are watching this video, you may be planning to move abroad to live better, to save money and cut taxes. I've written 3 top-rated Amazon books on living abroad. Get them via the link in the comment or in the description. Now, answer me one question. How is it possible that Shakira paid no income taxes for years? Here is the answer: because she lived in the Bahamas. Or at least that is what she told the Spanish tax authorities for a very long time. Now, in this video, I didn't cover the details of becoming a fiscal resident in these countries, but let me know in the comment section if you want more info. Back to the subject. The Bahamas isn't just a postcard location for celebrities. It's also one of the few places in the world where personal income tax simply does not exist. No deductions, no surprise withholdings, just your full paycheck, untouched by the government. But the most curious part is that the Bahamas is not an oil-rich state like Qatar or Bahrain, so you might be wondering, if there is no income tax, how does the government keep things running? The answer lies in 2 major economic pillars: tourism and financial services. Tourism in the Bahamas is the bread and butter. Millions of visitors touch down every year, drawn by its powdery white beaches, crystal clear waters, and luxurious resorts. With high-end hotels, cruise ship stops, and a buzzing travel industry, tourism dollars pour into the local economy, helping to fund public services. Then there's the financial sector, and here's where things get really interesting. Banks, offshore investment firms, and international businesses are drawn to the Bahamas because of its favorable tax laws and a prime location near the US. The government has created policies that make it attractive to foreign investors to bring their money there. And while some might think that these laws only benefit the ultra-wealthy, the reality is that they help keep the entire economy humming. The quality of life there is among the highest in Latin America and the Caribbean. It's not just personal income tax that's non-existent in the Bahamas. There is also no corporate tax, no capital gains tax, and no inheritance tax. No wonder so many celebrities bought real estate there, using the Bahamas as either a full-time home or a tax-friendly base. Of course, the government still needs revenue, so they make up for it in other ways. There is a tax on imported products, a property tax on some real estate. Fees related to tourism also bring a steady income. The system has held up largely thanks to the Bahamas' year-round tourist appeal, which keeps the cash flow consistent. At the end of the day, the Bahamas offers more than just stunning scenery. It's a place where your money stays yours, your stress levels drop, and your biggest decision might just be whether to spend the afternoon at the beach or on a boat. And honestly, that sounds like a pretty good way to live. Now, if none of the countries I mentioned today are for your taste, don't worry. There are some places in Europe where you pay lower taxes, maybe not zero, but single-digit taxes. 2 of them are very attractive because not only do they offer you a special tax scheme where you pay just 7% income tax, but also people there live longer. If you're curious to know more about these 2 countries, check this video here on your left. and get ready to be impressed.